Don't forget to visit your surf fishing headquarters in Southern California. Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. And if you need your garage door worked on or need a new one installed, Joe Welker's at your service. If you want to stay in Ensenada, man, you'll feel like you're a million miles away from everything, yet you're only 15 minutes from downtown Ensenada. Give Zeke a call right away. And if you're headed to the Channel Islands, you'll want to fish on board the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Nobody does it better. The Taxman, Tim Marquez, for all your tax needs and for your heating and or air conditioning needs. You're going to want to see John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. And don't forget to support the Friedman Adventures channel by getting your merch today.
Hey, good Saturday morning, everybody. How can you not feel blessed in Southern California? Check out that full moon. That accounts for some extremely high tides here at daybreak in beautiful Surfside, California. Let me show you the sun as it's getting ready to rise and that big bright full moon. And man, do we have a lot to talk about. That 448-pound yellowfin tuna is getting weighed in this morning. Probably, I would guess, around 8:30 this morning. We'll have details on that as our day goes by. And also, we're going to be watching the long-range situation. We've got some great rock fishing hopefully on tap today as things have mellowed out. There's not much wind at all, and that ocean looks pretty darn nice. There's some big sets rolling up here, but the ocean's looking good. There's been some wide sea bass around in SoCal, and we're looking forward to some more great surf fishing as things have finally started to calm down after a very windy and rough yesterday. All right, my friends, you know what time it is. A big, beautiful, bright, full moon and a lovely sunset here in Surfside, California. I'll shut my trap and get set up for the morning briefing coming at you next.
Don't forget to visit your surf fishing headquarters in Southern California. Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. And if you need your garage door worked on or need a new one installed, Joe Welker's at your service. If you want to stay in Ensenada, man, you'll feel like you're a million miles away from everything, yet you're only 15 minutes from downtown Ensenada. Give Zeke a call right away. And if you're headed to the Channel Islands, you'll want to fish on board the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Nobody does it better. The Taxman, Tim Marquez, for all your tax needs and for your heating and or air conditioning needs. You're going to want to see John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. And don't forget to support the Friedman Adventures channel by getting your merch today.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Making sure my microphone is on. Man, it's a beautiful morning. It's a little bit chilly, but you can see that ocean has laid down. There's some big sets. Look at that. Wow. Big sets rolling up here, but there's not much wind at all, and high hopes that the boys are going to be able to get out and catch some fish today. Of course, we're going to go look at the long-range situation. It has been spectacular, and we are all leaving the Friedman Adventures family on the Independence Monday morning for a great 8-day trip. Kevin Kwan from Bellflower, California, where you find Young's Fishing Tackle, will be returning on the Independence, so I'll get to say hello to my dear friend, and then we'll jump on board for an 8-day adventure that's going to be fantastic. And right now, the plan is to have that film ready for you all on Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day, I hope to have that 8-day adventure all edited up and ready to rock and roll so you can watch it with family and friends. That should be fantastic. Don't forget to hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it. When you do that, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. And don't forget, tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. You can find us over there on Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok, and on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Hey, let me take this down for right now because, man, Uh-oh, here comes the tide on me. I got to keep my eyes on that, obviously. Again, we had the waves come up really close, dangerously close to the houses here in Surfside, California, and the tide is just starting to come up. There's not as much wind on it, so I think we're good here for today. All right, let's talk long-range fishing, and man, has it been fantastic. Let me kind of break it down for you. You go down to the lower banks, down close to Land's End, the end of the Baja Peninsula, and that's where you've been finding some really big yellowfin tuna. And I'm talking 300, 400 pounds. Yes, in just a little bit, they're going to weigh that fish in from the XL at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. We'll have the details with breaking news a little bit later today. Michael Limon is there with his grandpa, Dan Lightfoot. Isaac Parcells is celebrating his anniversary with his lovely wife down there in San Diego, and his kids, they're there, and so many others are there to see history in the making. Will this be a new world record? My guess is that the fish is going to weigh 463 pounds. Put a comment down below. Agree, disagree? What's your weight? I'd be curious to know. So we have that big fish down there in the lower banks. Now, on these 8-day trips like we're going to be on, you've got Alejos Rocks producing some pretty fair wahoo fishing. That is dependent on how much boat pressure you get on it. You get a lot of boat pressure, and that bite will shut off on you. And then you've got that offshore yellowfin tuna on beautiful grade fish, like 30, 50 pounds, sometimes up to 100 pounds. It's beautiful. And then you can go in on the beach, San Pablo Bay and several others. You can still catch some yellowfin tuna, but you're going to catch more yellowtail. It's been fantastic. On the way home, you might make a couple of drifts for some big cod and big lingcod, or you might catch some sand and calico bass and sheephead and halibut, maybe even a white sea bass. Wow, what a long range year it has been. We can't wait to see you on Monday morning. That's going to be fantastic. Scott Buchert is down there this morning also shooting some video for yours truly. So again, we'll have all the details on that fish as it gets weighed in. 70 miles south of the border is where you find the beautiful coastal town of Ensenada, Baja California, Mexico. It is such a lovely town. They are focused in on mostly rockfish down there right now. Plenty of rockfish biting. It's been fantastic rock fishing. Now the offshore, it was really rough yesterday as the tide's rolling up on me here this morning, but now it's calmed down quite a bit. Trying to get a bluefin bite right now this late in November is pretty tough down there out of Ensenada, but they're able to catch that rockfish and also some bass at times also biting. So that is good news. Now, further south for the San Diego-based boats, 4-day guys have been going down to 250 plus miles to catch yellowfin tuna, and beautiful fish, 30 to 100 pound. There's also a considerable amount of bluefin that really doesn't bite that well, but it's nice fish, 50 to 150 pounds in that same area. Now that area took a little bit of a beating during this most recent blow. We'll see what it did to water temperatures and if that fish is still hanging out and wants to bite. Some of the long range boys coming home are looking at that. We'll have more details as it goes along, but it's been really nice fish down there and really, really excellent fishing for most of the guys. Man, there's some popper fish biting down there. There's some surface iron fish biting down there. And of course, bait fishing, 80-pound fluorocarbon with a good big hook sometimes. They have been that voracious. They've been biting really, really well. So that's a great zone to fish. Out there on Tanner and Cortez Bank, you can barely see Catalina Island, 20-something miles from here. And then behind there, you've got San Clemente Island. And then behind there, about 85 miles from where I'm standing, you've got Tanner and Cortez Bank. We haven't seen a bluefin tuna bite out there for quite some time. Yes, there's been some 15-pound fish taken out there previous to all this wind and crazy weather that we are experiencing, but it had really slowed down and was not that good at all. So we're catching some yellowtail on Cortez Bank. Some guys get a good hit, some guys miss, and then we've been also catching plenty of nice big rockfish in that zone. So that's your offshore situation in San Diego right now. Islands, Coronado Islands, south of the border, close to San Diego. I mean, the islands themselves are defined as North Island, Middle Grounds, South Island. Then you kind of have South Kelp Ridge running down to the rock pile. And that whole zone there has had some of the best yellowtail action we've seen in many, many years this year. However, it's been way more hit and miss, and it took a beating also in a water temperature drop. It might take a little while for that to rebound, and it may never rebound again. It's been a lot of rockfish there. At St. Clemente Island, there's a lot of squid moving in there. And behind that, of course, some predators like white sea bass and yellowtail on the dropper loop. There's also been great rock fishing there. And at Catalina Island, don't forget, the El Patron's been catching big old rockfish out there in that neck of the woods, and also an occasional little bite on some yellowtail and white sea bass, but not that much. There's been some halibut taken by private boaters there, but it's been mostly those big rockfish. November the 23rd, Chuck Zimmer will be on the El Patron. He's a friend of mine, and he's the president of the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club, and he is going to be giving away a beautiful custom rod. All you have to do is book on the El Patron. Chuck will be there November 23rd. He'll hand you your raffle ticket, and then at the end of the day, they'll draw for it, and maybe you'll get one of his beautiful creations. El Patron, don't forget, November the 23rd, you should take advantage of that. You can book that by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org, November the 23rd. Up there in the Channel Islands, we have seen some absolutely fantastic hits on the white sea bass occasionally, but they are few and far between. What is steady is some magnificent rock fishing, like you see here on board the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Great fishing for them. Kids fish free this Sunday on the Island Spirit. You should go do it, man. It's a lot of fun. 16-ounce torpedo sinker. That's what you want right now. The regs mandate that we are fishing in 300 feet or deeper throughout Southern California right now. So heavy sinker. You can even go to a 20-ounce. You wouldn't hurt my feelings by doing that. Great fishing on the Island Spirit. 805-676-3474. Get on board the Island Spirit on an absolutely beautiful morning here in Southern California with that moon and that beautiful sunrise. I don't know how in the heck you can beat it. It is absolutely gorgeous up there in Avila Beach, Santa Barbara, Morro Bay, San Francisco, Big Lings, great rock fishing out of Monterey. Also, when the wind and weather are not part of the problem. So we have seen some outstanding fishing. Hey, tonight at 7 p.m., Rolling Hills 20 in Torrance, California, Ghost of the Pacific, Mike Rabe, has done a magnificent job on this film. You should drop by. You're going to see a lot of like-minded people there, whether they're spearfishermen or anglers or just watermen in general, enjoying this great film about white sea bass tonight at 7 p.m. Rolling Hills 20 in Torrance, California. Check that out. Along our beaches, and I'm talking half and three-quarter day boats, and as you look out there, you get past these waves that are breaking on the beach here, you see some nice calm seas. There's still going to be a swell that's been generated by all this wind, but this wind is subsiding. That's good news. It's been mostly all rockfish up and down the coast after that wind and weather we had yesterday. These water temps have dropped, so guys are going to be focused in on that deep water cod, or they might fish the shallow water sheephead and whitefish. And there's still been a few bass bites here and there, but very few and far between, and not a whole lot of legal bass. There's been some private boaters who've done quite well. Whoa! What's that water feel like? Well, it's so cold out here, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't feel that bad. But it's got to probably be, I don't know, high 50s, something like that. If I had to guess, probably somewhere in that neck of the woods. Good rock fishing for half and three-quarter day, guys. Big fish bait and tackle down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard is your Southern California surf fishing headquarters. They're giving away a free, custom, beautiful surf fishing rod every single month. This month, it's for the largest halibut. I highly recommend you drop in there and buy your bait and give it a try. As I look at this, it is definitely fishable here today. You'd want to make a cast if you're fishing an artificial, like a Lucky Craft or a crocodile right now, and then you're coming back through some smooth seas. You're going to have to make a pretty long cast to fish bait unless you're trying to catch something up here in the shallows, which would be mostly bar perch. Huntington Beach, we've seen some bar perch down there, mostly small stuff. Same thing here. Not a lot of yellowfin croaker, but there have been some nice halibut up there in Long Beach, around Cherry Beach and 72nd Street, and up there in Redondo and the Santa Monica Bay, all the way up the county line, catching more and more bar perch. They like the cooler water. That's what we are seeing right now in the Southern California surf. Man, that tide is starting to come up on us right now. Camera has not gotten washed out to sea quite yet, but it's a beautiful morning. And again, that 448 getting weighed in down there at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. All right, I don't know what to tell you. It is gorgeous here today. I don't know. I might be wrong about this. Water starting to get up near the homes again today. I don't know. We still have a ways to go here in terms of high tide, and it's already starting to get up here kind of high as I see the Pelican Patrol here at daybreak and that big bright full moon, which is producing these high tides right now, combined with, that wind that we've had. That's what's making it kind of perilous down here for the homes. All right, my friends, I don't know what to tell you other than it is an honor and a pleasure to be with you here on this Saturday morning. Once again, I can't thank you enough for making time out of your busy day to join us here on Freeman Adventures. Later today, I'll have more on that 448. We'll see how big it is. 463, that's my guess. Put a comment down below. I would love to hear your guess on how big that yellowfin tuna caught on board the XL is going to weigh in here this morning. Take care. Have a great one. And I hope to see you really, really soon.